Well, thank you very much, Gordon. And it's just a total pleasure to be here and be able to participate in some small way with the great accomplishments that you all have achieved. So thanks for everything you're doing, and your future is so bright. And it's just a treat to be here. And it is my particular honor and a great honor to introduce our distinguished commencement speaker tonight. An economist, a leader, and someone who deeply understands the power of education to transform lives. Mary Daly, President and CEO of the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco. I have had the particular, truly great fortune of working with Mary over the last bunch of years, and also to get to know her as a friend. She is one of the most inspiring, smartest, thoughtful, and dedicated leaders with whom I have truly ever had the pleasure to work. Mary's story is truly remarkable. I won't go into detail because I want you all to hear it directly from Mary. Her journey is living proof of the transformation and the impact of mentorship and educational programs offered by institutions like community colleges, like the College of Western Idaho, where so many students just like you begin to reimagine what's possible. Plus, Mary is a lot of fun. I was able to join Mary last fall on a visit to the CWI campus in Nampa. Mary took a particular interest in the welding department as someone who welds herself. I don't know about you, but I don't know too many economists or Fed officials who can weld. Mary is one. As president of one of the 12 regional reserve banks in the Federal Reserve System, Mary plays a truly critical role in shaping our nation's economy. The Federal Reserve sets monetary policy, works to strengthen financial institutions, and ensures a safe and resilient payment system to build a stronger economy for all Americans. But beyond the headlines and beyond the numbers, I have seen firsthand how Mary approaches her work as a Federal Reserve official. In addition to her research and studying the data, she engages directly with businesses and communities across her district, including right here in Idaho, and she's got a particular fondness for Idaho, to make it better and to make better monetary policy. What makes Mary such a powerful voice is not only her professional expertise, but her personal passion for mentoring young people in the pursuit of their career goals. She has said that college changed her life. She believes, like we all do, that talent is everywhere and opportunity should be too. Please join me in welcoming someone who embodies resilience, leadership, and hope, Mary Daly.
Well, thank you, Skip, for that kind introduction. It was so lovely and generous. And it is truly my honor to be here celebrating your commencement tonight. To me, it's the hottest ticket in town, and I'm just glad you gave me an opportunity to spend time with you. Now, if you started to worry, if you're graduates, that I was going to talk about the economy or monetary policy or any of the other things I do on my regular job, you can stop despairing and realize that today I'm going to talk about you. I'm going to talk about your accomplishments and what is important as you go forward. But before we do, I really want the graduates, and everybody here listen, only the graduates, to give yourselves a big round of applause. There you go. You've really earned this day, and as I said earlier in the evening, it's important that you take it in and recognize how much of an accomplishment this is. But of course, we also have to recognize all those who helped you get here. So let's give a big round of applause to the family, friends, and faculty who helped make this day possible. Now, as Skip mentioned, I first visited CWI last fall, and I immediately felt at home. Everyone is welcome, everyone has opportunity, everyone belongs. Whether you like welding, machining, nursing, business, or one of the other 120 plus programs that the college offers, you can learn here and you can thrive. To me, that's the American promise. Everyone has a future. No matter how you start or where your journey takes you, with hard work and determination, you can craft a path to success. And this is the most important thing, a path that you choose. Now, I believe that deeply, but truth be told, if I'm being honest, I didn't always know it. When I was a teenager, around 15 or 16, I used to drive around neighborhoods with very big houses. I would go out at night when my shift of making donuts was complete, and there were mostly no one on the streets. I liked looking at others' accomplishments, what they had achieved. And I wasn't jealous, I was just resigned. Their lives were so very different than my own. You see, I was living in Baldwin, Missouri. I had dropped out of high school about 6 months earlier when my family fell onto hard times, and those hard times we slipped away. So I went to work. And the last thing I heard as I walked out the high school door still rattled in my mind almost every day. It's your decision, but you will never amount to much. And I believed it. So I drove around looking at houses, thinking that at 15, my fate was already determined. I set my sights on getting a full-time job with better pay and maybe benefits. A big billboard on the side of the road became my goal. Good hours, good pay, good people. Be a bus driver. Now call it good luck, or good timing, or just a very good person seeing something that I couldn't. My former high school guidance counselor made a connection. She introduced me to a friend of hers, Betsy. And Betsy had this truly amazing car from where I sat. It was her Mercedes that her father had once driven. And we sat inside on its leather seats, drinking coffee from McDonald's, and we talked. Well, really, I talked and she listened. And when I was done, she said gently, "You can't be a bus driver without a high school diploma." Now, dreams are hard to give up, even when they're small. And I was crushed. All I could hear was the voice from my high school saying, "You will never amount to much." But then Betsy followed with a second sentence. She said, "So you will have to get a GED." Now, I would like to say that I jumped at that opportunity, but I didn't. It seemed daunting. I was afraid. I hadn't been in school for a while, and I wasn't even sure how to begin. But Betsy encouraged me. And as you can see from my honorary green tassel I'm wearing tonight, I did it. I got my GED. So I'm very proud of all the people here who have earned their GED. Good for you. Now my GED, and I'm not making this up, my GED stands as the single best degree I've ever earned. In fact, I have it right here. I have the certificate. I proudly display it because it's important. But it's more than just a certificate or a piece of paper that said that I could become a bus driver. It was a change, a little opening in my narrow sense of expectations of myself, a sliver of light that let me think something more might be possible. So after my GED, Betsy suggested I take a semester of college. And I didn't know much about college or really anyone who had ever gone. But she said it would be a good way for me to see what I liked, so I decided to take a chance. After all, in the back of my mind, I knew I could always go and be a bus driver. I took a semester of college and I really liked it, so I decided to keep going. And I moved across the state from where I'd grown up, and I started a 4-year program. Now, honestly, I was in way over my head in the early days. I wasn't sure what I wanted to study, I wasn't earning any money, and I was worried about failing. I started out in psychology, and then I took math and history and science and photography and music and computers, which I know we now call IT, but I took all of those things. And I went to a local community college to see if I liked marketing, and I took accounting. But none of those things really clicked. They were all things I enjoyed, but they weren't really my passion, and I was worried. So I went to the Student Learning Center to ask for help. And the advisor there that afternoon suggested economics might be for me and took me to a class. Now, I had never had economics, and if I'm really being truthful, I'd never really heard of economics, so I had no idea what to expect. The class was large. To me, it felt like this auditorium. It was a very large class, the largest I'd ever been in. The class lasted 90 minutes, and it felt like 15. And I knew I had found my place. I graduated with a degree in economics and philosophy, and went on to get a PhD, and eventually a job at the San Francisco Fed, where I'm now president and CEO. Thank you. So why do I tell you this story on the night of your graduation? Well, it's not to say that you need a PhD in economics or a path that looks like mine. All of us have different paths. It's to say that the words I heard as I exited high school were never true. They were just a narrower perspective on what could be. The truth is, decisions are rarely final, and paths are rarely predetermined. We will all have moments in our lives where we feel stuck or off course. But time passes, constraints fade, doors open, and your ambitions follow. I didn't start out wanting a PhD or even knowing what the letters meant. But I got a GED, and that led to a class, and that led to a semester, and that led to a career. And looking back, I realized it was never the big houses I rode around to see. It wasn't the owner's accomplishments or what they had achieved. It was the possibilities. A world where a single decision isn't final, where all of us have the opportunity to choose and choose again. And frankly, that is what I love about CWI. And while I am so thrilled to be here tonight, it's filled with possibilities, and it's filled with choosers. Each of you chose. You put in the hard work, dedication, and desire to earn a degree, and you expected a lot of yourselves, and you rose to meet the challenge. So as you leave tonight and we honor you, I have 3 things. My wish for you is that you always have the opportunity to choose. My hope for you is that you always have the will to take it. And my desire for you is that you always know that already you amount to much. So congratulations, graduates. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I really can't wait to see what you do. I know you'll be successful. Thank you.